I'm Chris Fischetti. I've won a few races in my time, and I've rode a lot of 550s. I've rode a lot of stand-ups, sit-downs, pretty much everything. I'm back riding vintage boats because I have a little better feel. They cost a little less money, and they're a lot of fun. But I was having a little trouble with the handling, obviously, because they're a little more narrow. So I've come up with my new 550 Rocket Ship Water Sports sponsons. Designed by me to make this 550 handle as solid as a square nose Superjet, round nose 750 SX Plus. Bolt these things on and stomp your buddies with newer boats. They work that good, guaranteed. Designed by me for riders like you.
Oh, that's one heck of a commercial.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Watercraft Network Wednesday. And I have a new +1, if you haven't recognized.
Yeah,
This one's actually got hair.
I
Believe
do.
it or not.
Right.
I'll put the hat on.
We're going to be on the other side. Hey, and if you haven't guessed, we have a legend on tonight. Chris the Fish Fischetti.
Say
Okay?
that 10 times.
One of the legends.
That's close enough.
I mean, if anybody was
He's-
on ESPN every week, it was the Fish, okay? What's it? Rocket Ship Water Sports, lead creator there. He's got those 550 sponsons, like you just saw, was one of the top pros. This guy could ride slalom. He could ride close course, old school freestyle.
What
Chris
a piece
was
of
the man.
plywood.
And he was riding a plywood. Exactly.
Yeah.
Those things didn't handle for dog shit, Luen. So I
Yeah.
think we're not even going to go into any of the other stuff. We're going to have a full show. And even though we're limited with Roku, I know this is going to go more than a half an hour.
I know, we're gonna have to keep
it's
it
just
on
going to happen.
Yeah.
But Chris, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, thanks for coming on
Yeah.
tonight, Manny. Really appreciate it. So what's new out in the world of Havasu?
So obviously it's pretty much the same. It just cooled down finally, so it's time to get on the dirt bikes and the mountain bikes.
Nice.
It's almost snowmobile weather here.
We got to talk about some old school, back in the day, adventures on tour. You got to have some stories.
Well, before you get to the story, are you on a laptop?
I am.
Pull your laptop down a little bit so I can see more of your face. Oh, there you go. That's better. All right,
A little closer.
let's hear the stories.
Well, so also this would brought all this up with all the podcasts here is that I made a video a million years ago, which was pretty much all about the lifestyle and stuff that we did on tour, and so that's for sale right now. It's rough. It's rough and it's old, but it's back. Just Watkins did his Jet Dreams one, and then his was a real video, and it was real narrating and cinematography and real footage, and I go, well, man, I can do one of these with just some handheld cameras and hack it together, and that's what we did. So, but
And you were part
it's
of
got
that
a bunch
too.
of me. Yeah, no, that was. Watkins is really he's the number one dude. I mean, with the freestyle and all the stuff that he did. I mean, he rode in the surf and did some stuff. He lived in Hawaii doing this stuff, and then obviously jet pilot, and and actually the double leg guy. He really was the fastest guy because he could outride everybody in slalom. So his close course skills were good, but not, he just wasn't a moto dude. He came in a little bit late, but I mean, all around the board. And then he put out Jet Dreams, which is really the first lifestyle video of the sport. And he was the lifestyle. Like I said, he lived in Hawaii, rode jet skis, and did the whole thing. He lived in Miami when Miami was Miami. I mean, it was legit. So I kind of followed in his footsteps, I guess. And I just did everything sort of my way, which was quick and short, but my I don't know what my video is. It's on my Facebook page, but I shot did a bunch of lifestyle. We just showed what we were doing, during the week between the races, and hacked it all together. And it was, I mean, there were no cell phones. There were no, you drove to the tour and showed up, and then
Was
you
that with the
raced, and then there you were.
VH? Was that the
It
VH
was a VH,
camcorder?
VH, yeah, yeah. VH. We shot with the VH, and the 8 mil just came out, so that was a little bit easier tapes and stuff.
That's
And
awesome.
it basically was we shot a bunch of stuff, and then we went to while we were in the middle of the tour, we went whitewater rafting, and then we got a spot where we could drive down and ride the rapids, which no one had ever seen, and we got some really good footage because we got guys that stand out on the rocks, and we could, you know, ride right past them in action.
That's
So that was
awesome.
we had that footage. That was so we had that what no one had seen. So that was like radical at the time. So then
And
we
those were
just
your
back.
race
That was like
skis,
halfway
right?
through. And they were and our race ski. So that stuff in the middle of the week that you still had to ride, coming up. I mean, I had a backup ski, but Chris Burke and some of the other guys who were riding those were riding their race skis, and so that was the middle of the tour. We got that footage. So I said, okay, if we could now just backfill it. And I just filmed everything we could that was lifestyle and racing, and at the end of the year, we just put it all together. My buddy Joe Renda, to actually put it together, we had to build a master copy. So we had to go to like a cinematographer place that could put it all together and put some music in it, put some um, uh, credits. There was no way to edit. We just put these together with 2 VCRs. I mean, it's, for the day, it came out really good. It looks really
Well, that's
kind of
just how
sort
it
of
used to
glitzy neat.
be. And then they had a
Yes,
VHS to DVD converter, so you could put it on DVD, so then you could play it in your DVD. So
right. Well,
it's
sure, sure.
evolved.
Right.
But that
So
was
now I got this. I burned them on it. Right. So I burned them on the DVDs now. So they're DVDs, and I still had a box of them. So I'm like, hey, does anybody want these for Christmas? And then I got some reply and I got some posters and some junk. So I don't know. I just thought I'd
That's cool.
throw it out there. And
and that's
yeah,
when
I
jet
got
ski
some of my
racing was
other.
jet ski racing. I mean, it was an event. When you went, it was an event. You had a bunch of stuff going on. And like I said, you competed in closed course, slalom, and freestyle.
And the Rapids.
Yeah,
Well, but that
yeah,
wasn't
well, that
part of
was
the
well,
event.
Hey,
That was
sure.
midweek fun.
I think that's better than the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, but then when you watch his video, I mean, you also get some entertainment.
That's true.
You had the bikini contests and you had other stuff
Oh, I
going
didn't hear
on
about that yet.
There's a
while you
there's
were
a
there.
there's a tra- there's a trailer of my video on the YouTube thing.
Oh, I'll find
There's a
it.
trailer that has
Oh, you
that
you
should
got
yeah
you got to watch this because the old
you can
school
stab
stuff.
through it or something. I don't know. Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
I'll
Yeah. So
find it.
and yeah, yeah. It's right. It's got to be right next to the one you just pulled up there. Those are all the newer ones.
All right, now
That's
Ladder.
cool.
speaking between old school and new school, Chris, if you had the opportunity to have your own series, what would you do? What would you bring
It's
back?
really hard to say.
Ooh.
I mean, I think like to really do it like for a TV, you would need to do like say I don't know if you had a Monster Red Bull event, you'd do a freestyle event obviously, and you would change it up so that these guys were hopping over stuff, even if it was made out of like the foam floaty stuff, but so you could score it better, and then you'd have an open 550 class, an open stand-up class, and then an open runabout class, and obviously the tracks would be different for each one, but those would be the three classes, Or when maybe you'd have an open 550, open stand up with it, for everybody to go. Then you'd have an open Sea-Doo SPX or X4. I don't know what they want to call it now. The 800 class
Yeah, like the 800
hull.
runabouts.
The 800, yeah, but open. So you could do. You see what I'm saying? So that
Brung
would be
what you
like your
brung.
that would be like your five. That'd be like your 550 class of sit down, and then open now, which is whatever you want to ride in the open runabout. So those would be so you know you'd have to be able to ride. You could find a class you could ride and build something cool for.
Yeah.
Those would be the four classes.
That'd be interesting to watch.
Now, back in the day, what's the difference from back then to now?
Well, when the tour was really big, there was only jet ski hulls, and the Yamaha came in, so you were still really competitive with just a couple of things, X2, I guess, And then once the sports got bigger, and then obviously when the sit downs came in, it's not like dirt bikes because you have to, every dirt bikes, you're still on a dirt bike, I mean, the chassis suspension, but a fast guy can get on a really slow dirt bike and go really fast. You can't get on a slow jet ski and go fast, so
I know.
back in the day, we're all all the equipment was really close, so you had an advantage. I mean, you had to work on the stuff too. No one had seen anything. No one had, you couldn't go to, and I mean, you couldn't just go buy a set of good carbs. I mean, you needed everything was special. So
Yeah. So I got a question.
yeah.
Fish isn't your middle name, correct?
No,
Is that
Fichetti's my
Fischetti.
last name.
right? But
Fischetti.
they call you Fish because you're swimming all the time off the ski.
Yeah, well, actually, if you guys could spell my name right, but no one really cares, of course.
Yeah, you
well,
blew that one.
it's
You blew it.
No, it's spelled
Right.
right.
yes. Yeah, if you're from Poland, man.
Well, I
Yeah,
am part
fish.
Polish.
Fish is short. Yeah, fish is short for fischetti, and that's if it was spelled like that, it would be definitely cutting my name right the way it should be. So, but
Well, we had the intern take care of that. That's what happened.
of course, no, who cares? Nobody cares. It just proves it.
Nah, we care.
Yeah, maybe someday.
All right, now you actually
Find
had
my
your own
find my
series.
find my video clip. Find my and play that. That'll make up for everything.
If I was sitting in front of the computer, I'd do it. But my interns,
The intern's taking over.
yeah.
All
right,
right.
so
They can't spell my name. They can't spell my name. They'll never find it.
So there was an outlaw series, if I remember correctly, that you would start it out
What's
on the
that?
West Coast.
The Aquamoto stuff.
The Aquamoto stuff, but then wasn't there like an outlaw series or something like that where you were trying to get some crazy 550s like you were talking about, crazy vintage stuff?
Well, I mean, Aquamoto. Yeah, I mean, I set up my Aquamoto league. I had my own league, my own insurance, my own rules, my own everything. I had the whole platform set up, and I kind of based it off vintage because there were no races and nobody was racing, so you needed to grassroots it. So you get everybody in that's that can't compete against. I mean, anything newer. So you could come and race what you had, and like Body B. I mean, around here in town, we got a lot of vintage stuff. Back then, we did because everyone used to go out and ride, So I was just trying to. You got to start grassroots. So that was made it easy, made it fun, and I made like I had a big track and combined some classes, big first turn and like a I don't know, 15-minute race. So you could just, it was like we raced a work series. It's for motocross out here, which is like a 45-minute race. So and they combined a bunch of classes. So it was a running start too. So we kind of made it was you put a bunch more guys on the line and race around for a while. Yeah. So it was out. Yeah, outlaw. I tried to take over the Just Big. I mean, I had it. Like I said, nobody would support it. So I ran a season, and then I backed Daytona Free Ride. We sponsored that, and Virginia Free Ride, whatever that was called, and I had some other, yeah. So
Yeah, Wave Days.
and exactly that was it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Dan over at Wave Days.
Yeah. So that, like you said, we were just talking about the insurance thing. So that platform, it's basically event insurance. So it just umbrellas everything. So Aquamoto League it was all laid out. It was all right there. And yeah, so I guess it was a bit outlaw. Like I said, obviously the clown at the Just Bathe, there's not a sport, it's a hobby. It can't be a sport because anything, especially now that's extreme sports, is run by enthusiasts. Actually, anything, football, basketball, NASCAR, these are all racers that have excelled and put it all together and made it a business because they're racers for one, and then they're enthusiasts for two. There's none of that in our sport. They're or in this hobby. It's obvious. I mean, it's enough said. It doesn't. It's just what it's what it turned into.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I feel
as
really
far
bad for
as
all the racers.
you, Watkins. I mean, you really don't see Jeff Jacobs anymore. You don't see Harry. None of those
should have
guys
actually. I mean,
are in the scene.
Victor, nobody. No, there's no. We got run out. We all got run out. It run out. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. I mean, Havasu. Everybody asked me what was the best event. I mean, I went out. We raced all around the world and raced indoors and raced some European distance races and some crazy stuff. Which was, I mean, especially back then there were no rules. I mean, there was some really cool European. I mean, I raced everything I could. Any invites, pay for my way. I'd bring, gear and helmets. I just sell some stuff. And I mean, I just jump on boats and just ride. That was more of the endurance stuff. But I don't, if I win or lose, I don't care. I'm just there to have a good time and make friends and check it out. And I'm glad I did, because you got to see how, again, the lifestyle of the sport. I mean, so the World Finals would come around, and not only would get ready for the finals, build all the stuff, do all the sponsorship, do all the stuff at the event, try and win an award ceremony with some crazy thing, and then I would throw a big party out in the desert promoting the sport. I mean, we were like an X Games. All the motocross guys, everybody came from all over the world to be a part of the lifestyle that Lake Havasu had, as well as the racing too. But I mean, that's what makes a sport. You go
Yeah,
to a
well,
football game and you hang out
back
in there.
then, Havasu was the place to go. That's where you
Oh,
raced all season to go to Havasu.
yeah, I mean the regionals, right? The regionals you had to qualify at your regions, especially even in runabout, you had to qualify. Some of the guys on tour would make it, had to go and race some regionals to
Yeah,
qualify.
exactly. Now, you said you used to jump on anything. I've seen you on X2s. I've seen you on X4 hulls. Obviously 550, 440 super stock. Out of those classes, which do you prefer?
I mean, the 550, the early 90s, the 550s, because everybody was on the same hull. So, you were, I mean, man for man, boat for boat, and then whatever you could ride, and they were hard to ride,
Oh,
and you need endurance too. I mean, you get tired for sure. I mean, a lot like the old dirt bikes and stuff. So, um, those were, literally and it was, it was me and Pops against sort of PJS. You get on the line and there'd be 10 PJS jet skis, and obviously Jammer was the best, and Victor. I mean, he rode maybe not PJS, but there were a few other guys, but it was I was always the underdog kind of, and my dad was phenomenally smart, and took us a little while to get everything dialed in, but yeah, it was just every little bit you did on your jet ski back then really made a difference, so it was and everybody again was on an equal playing field. Like I said, now somebody comes out with the newer, the new hulls, a different boat, it makes it tough. And then the boats are, I mean, the runabouts, even the stand-ups, man, they're really fast. I mean, you got, and guys can, I mean, the little kids are riding around the track at super fast speed. So it's easy to sort of not master, but it's easy to go fast on a watercraft in smooth water, with a couple of seasons. I mean, you could never do that on a dirt bike. You couldn't ride a dirt bike for 2 years and jump up to, semi-pro or
no
try and go
way.
to Supercross and qualify or something,
Well, no, even
Um,
back then, you had your novice, your amateur, your expert class, and then you had to step up and earn your way in the pro. You just didn't
right,
go
well,
out
and
and run
you,
against guys like you.
yeah, when you, and the boats were that challenging. Everybody was on equal. The boats were challenging, and you had to be able to ride fast enough to get up there. Right. That's so it was. Um, yeah, you could. You just couldn't jump in and go. You just couldn't. You needed the practice and the
Now,
skill
you
set
had
and
some
stuff.
pretty decent sponsors, though, back in the day. I mean, you had Mariner, was a whole shot engineering, if I remember correctly.
Well, that was my own company. I started Whole Shot Engineering, and then
Okay.
we ran that for like 2 years or something. So that was in SoCal. I went to San Diego and had that. And then I actually left my own company and went to Mariner because I couldn't run the company, and it just wouldn't work out, unfortunately. Um, and yeah, no. So well, I went to Mariner, and out of SoCal, then also I left Jet Pilot at the same time, and went to Moby's. So because Jet Pilot had everybody. So and then I walked across the street from Jet Pilot and signed a deal with No Fear, So No Fear just started. So that was actually a really good deal because those guys were starting up, and the Watercraft was huge. So I actually promoted that brand throughout the Watercraft and the motocross industry. And then and then I went all across the, Gator sunglasses. I left Oakley, went to Gators. Um, I left Scout Track and went to Solos. So I forced Ken Stewart to actually put more purse money at the World Finals because he didn't want Solos to buy it. So I ran sort of across the board. I went across the grain on everything, and then and then with all the parts sponsors, we were developing everything. Everybody else was on a factory team or on their own team. So I mean, I work with Novi to build the cars. We work with Chapin, obviously, in R&D to build parts. We work with Factory Pipe. We work with MSD. We're doing all the stuff and then giving them feedback, so we could get more stuff and go faster, So and then I don't, I don't even know. Yeah, there's so many stuff. I don't know. It was crazy.
I was going to say you were always hustling. There was never a time you didn't see Chris somewhere.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was, and like I said, so we were building, and it was really cool. And like I said, I still, that's why I built those 550 sponsons. I always, I like to tweak stuff. I still actually got a new version that I've worked on to make the boat work even better, so I can surf around the coves and stuff. But yeah, and then I promoted. I mean, while I was doing that too, that same year, then I shot a video and edited, helped, film it, produce it, and the whole thing, and as well as every World Finals, throw a big party. I mean, I really, that's how everyone remembers me. I'm sure. I mean, Jammer and Victor, and McCluggage and Farthing and Gocher. I mean, some of these guys are fast, depending on the season. Who was a little faster, better, healthy. But I always tried to make sure everybody knew how cool the sport was.
Oh, and you did a good job at that. Now, back to the video you're promoting. How do people get a hold of you to get that?
It's just on my Facebook page.
And that's it?
That's yeah. It's just there. And I'll send you an email if you have some questions. I have some posters and some junk and stuff to get rid of. So if anybody
Some other
wants
good stuff.
it.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So if Kevin was here, which he's not,
Mhm.
his big thing is, and all of the special guests, the big name guests, if you had and could come back in time, what boat would you rather have? Brand new in the box.
Um, like right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Old school.
anything
Any old school
Oh,
boat that you want fresh in the crate, brand new.
that you could go out and ride tomorrow.
um, I mean, I'd rather have a new ski. I got old ones here.
Okay, so what new
I want
ski?
some. It's probably that new Yamaha stand-up.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw it. Actually, I saw Rusty. I saw the bullet down there with one. So,
Have you had an opportunity to ride one yet?
no, he said I could, and I don't know. It just was, I don't want to write someone else's other stuff. So, but yeah, no, I think that would be pretty cool. So the new sit downs would be, if maybe if you live by the ocean or something where you could go out. The lake's too small for the sit down so fast.
Right, but you've done stuff like Marcon. I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
had a. Were you doing a stand up or you doing a sit down on those?
No, we rode the GP 1800. The new when the class was the last couple of years ago. So we went out and we won stock class and won some. Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, and actually the couple of events we rode, the wind picked up, so it got really rough. So it was actually was fun. I mean, because in smooth water they're so big, you need some bumps in front of you on those things.
And what's in the future for the fish? I mean, what are you
Just,
working on? What are we doing?
yeah, I'm just low key, just trying to keep it together. Not I just ride my dirt bike and ride my mountain bike, and that's
Where do
about
you
it.
ride
Really.
your dirt bike at?
Oh, we do desert. We got some tracks out in California and stuff. Actually, I went to Glamis. We did a day in Glamis just on Saturday, so that was awesome. It's the weather. It's been warm up till like now. So,
Nice.
and actually, yeah, and there's actually a Work Series race here this weekend, which for some reason I didn't know it was this weekend until I just saw a post. So they have the works event right here, right at Crazy Horse. It's rad. It's
That's
great.
awesome.
It's like, yeah, it's probably like one of the one of the I would call it an outdoor, but the amateur outdoor. Maybe one at Glen
Yeah.
Helen and one at Mammoth, and then this one here. There's a like one of the three in
Although
this area that's.
Although it's off jet skis, but what are you riding?
I got a YZ 250F. 250, yeah, YZ 250F.
Sweet. Definitely
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah. It's still it can go much faster.
Oh yeah.
So there's no 2021 plans?
No,
Any
just low
racing?
key.
Any?
I mean, maybe race some dirt bike stuff.
Well,
There are no. You mean jet ski? There's no jet ski. Right? I know they have that surf event next to the pier. That would be really would be kind of cool to do. Um, out out Huntington Pier, they have some
yep,
sort of
that's the
regional.
one that Hot Products puts on, right?
Yeah. It's a I don't know what it is. Yeah, yeah. It's a qualifier or it's a special. Yeah, it's something. I mean, that's. I mean,
Yeah, it's something.
is there? I mean, there's something. Yeah, I don't know. There's it's hard to get motivated to ride any surf would be cool. That would be exciting. Guys would crash, and I mean, especially assuming there's waves, of course.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Well,
Yeah, if there's no
if they
waves.
want to get your
I'd
video,
go out there. If there's no waves, I wouldn't race. Yeah.
if they want to catch your video, they actually get a hold of you on Facebook, right? Just friend you on Facebook.
Yeah, just go to my page and
Yeah.
do a thing, or we should be able to look at
Once
it.
we
As
get off the
it's
show, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, Mel put it up.
Okay.
Actually, put it up on our Watercraft Network site, and we'll go from there. Try to drive as much as we can towards you.
Yeah.
But
Well, so did you say this is on Roku?
this is
It is.
This is on Roku. It'll be actually be on Roku tomorrow.
So that's so you click on it. Watch it on Roku like buying a movie or whatever, however that
Pretty
works.
much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's what, third
Yeah.
week now.
Yeah, we're in
Okay.
the
This is
third
the
week.
third week. So that's
I got it.
unfortunately we get limited to like a half an hour show. We used to try to roll this to an hour ish, but
Sure.
with Roku, we have to try to keep it
Right.
around that 30-minute limit.
Right. No, that's awesome.
So
Well,
Gotta try
so
to.
what's I mean
Go
to
ahead.
promote? I mean, so you're and what do you guys usually host on here? I mean, now it's off season, I guess, sort of, right? So
no, well, we got a couple stuff coming up here for the works. Going to have some Superjet reviews. We actually got Chris Manthos from the AWA coming on.
We try to bring all kinds of people from the race community.
Like when
just to
Larry
see
came
what's
out with
going
his
on.
video.
Larry came out
Oh,
with his.
okay.
Yep, that was awesome.
So we try to get as
Right.
many in industry people as we can. Whether you're racers, you got something going on, products, you name it, we bring you on.
Right.
So
We're just trying to spread the jet ski love.
Right. No, that's.
But
I mean, well, that's. I mean, it's. I got obviously since I put this out, like everybody jumped out and said, "Hey, be on our podcast." So I'm like, oh, I mean, I knew there was one or two, but I mean, it's good because again, there's no real platform for anybody to figure stuff out. So it's good that you guys are doing this. Everybody, all the
Well,
podcasts and all the stuff. So
we
keep
put it
everyone
on
informed.
Facebook and we have it on YouTube and Roku. So
Right.
we're just trying to give everybody the opportunity to talk about what they love, their passions.
No, it's and actually again I've been a little bit low key on all the social media stuff here. So I jump back on and then I post on some of the I mean a huge amount of vintage jet ski stand up lovers, sport lovers, XP 800 and the blue Sea-Doo lover. I mean, like a bunch of individual
It's
classes all spread out, which is awesome to see. To see everyone that all the enthusiasm. Either brand select or just overall on the watercraft industry, I guess. So
well with
no,
social media, it's really tough to keep up, keep track. There's so much other BS going on in the world.
yeah. Well, and once again, there's no, there's no racing. There's no, it's just a hobby. There's no, if there was no Supercross AMA, then everything filters from that, But so now there's no main hub to
Right.
direct, a couple international events and stuff. But without that, that main driver, and someone to fucking fly the airplane, it just makes it tough for it to
Well,
hit the tree.
that's one of the things that we're trying to do is kind of be that hub, but offer the ability to allow racers or just enthusiasts to spread what they're doing,
Yeah, it
whether
could
it's
be a
Yeah,
safety,
yeah,
free ride event.
yeah.
free ride event.
One of our guys is Ryan up in Michigan. Throws on a huge event. A lot of old school stuff. Does old school slalom, does some close course, has the community involved, has
Yeah.
the municipalities involved, uh, safety's involved. I mean, and even with the safety, I think there was times that when you had your events, you had K38 involved, right?
Yeah, no, well, actually, my first ones, I had Shauna Laudio come, and she actually was the safety, and it's a little like she's really safe conscious. I mean, I learned a whole bunch. I mean, it was, a lot of the stuff I wouldn't have thought about. So then I, excel from that. But no, yeah, no, and watercraft is way different than a dirt bike race. The
Oh
jet skis
yeah.
can do some crazy stuff. So by far. So I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's pretty tough. Like water's tough too.
And Sean's a
Um,
big old school stand up.
Yeah,
She
no, she
loves.
right, just race and the whole thing. No, she's pretty aggressive, but her heart's in the right spot, she's got so much knowledge. I mean, it's almost too much knowledge to at the level our sport is now.
No, she loves it. She loves it. But we appreciate you coming on tonight, Chris.
Yeah,
Anything else we can do for you, please let us know. And have fun. I'm sure you're going to be on what, Kenny's show tomorrow night?
you could change my name. You could get my spell my
I think
name
I
out.
think
I'm just
I
kidding.
think intern did.
If you say so. Um,
Did you
but
fix
I'm
it,
just
intern?
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right, buddy. We appreciate it. Have a good
All right,
night.
no, thanks. All right, thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
All right. Take it easy, Chris.
See ya.
You got him all set there, intern?
Yep.
All right.
He's good.
So that's the fish.
That's the one I heard about, huh? Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy.
No, he's actually, we had a pretty good conversation with him offline too. So Kevin's not here, so normally the
Oh, the sponsorships and stuff.
yeah, so
I
I'll
wasn't ready for
let
this.
you roll with that. How's that?
Well, like always, we got to thank Liquid Molly. When we changed everything we had to Liquid Molly's products.
Absolutely. Yes, we did.
I run everything in my truck, whether it's the oil or the fuel additives. I love that. Put that stuff in there.
Got SBT.
SBT and WSM. We can't actually thank them enough because that's where we go to order our
And you know who we haven't talked about in a while?
stuff.
And I just love saying that name. Bobinski.
Bobinski. Well, definitely. It's probably, what is the date today?
It'd be a great Christmas gift.
Oh, December 2nd. You probably can get one.
Yeah. Bobinski chairs for Christmas.
Bobinski.
And we, Bombers, everybody. I mean, obviously, like I said, my +1 here's still got his hat and his glasses on.
Look,
just
if you're
a little bit more on the facial side.
So, but if you're looking for a floating eyewear, Bombers is it. Or I work in construction. They make safety glasses too. So, and they're real reasonable.
Next week, we may have some stuff going on. That there's been some rumblings on Facebook with some things going on in the Carolinas, some things going on.
A lot of
in
rumors
Michigan.
going around.
I don't know if it's going to be next week or not, but stay tuned. If it is, they're gonna be on our show.
Yeah, they'll be here.
Absolutely.
100%.
The rest of the month, we got some good stuff coming up. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.